Hello, welcome to the first episode of the Death Row and Executions channel. My name is Paco Rivera. Here on this channel, we're going to mostly be discussing the next scheduled execution here in the United States and a background of what led up to it. Actually, I did a few of these upcoming execution videos before, and I had uploaded them to a YouTube channel with other random stuff, and those did so well and got a lot of views that I've decided to just go ahead and start a channel dedicated just for discussing upcoming executions. As you can see from this list, the next inmate in the United States scheduled for execution is Willie B. Smith III. Willie B. Smith was born in 1969. He's now 51 years old. He is currently on death row in Alabama. Willie Smith was sentenced to death in 1992 and has been on death row for 29 years and 2 months now. The last time Alabama executed an inmate on death row was Nathaniel Woods in March of last year in 2020. That was 19 months ago. So this will be the first execution in Alabama this year. As a matter of fact, it's the only execution they have scheduled for the year 2021. So let's take you back to how all this started. Sometime about midnight on October 27th, 1991, 30 years ago, in the city of Trussville in Alabama, which is a suburb of Birmingham, Willie Smith was at home with a 17-year-old girlfriend named Angelica Willis. The two were living together, and they left their home on foot. According to testimony in court during the trial, they were headed to a Pizza Hut, and they were also looking for Willie's brother, Lorenzo. Now, parked at a bank's ATM machine, seated in her car, was a young woman named Sharma Ruth Johnson. Now, when Willie spotted the young woman in the car, he decided to set up a ruse. He instructed his girlfriend, Angelica, to walk over to the car and ask for directions to a Crystal's, which is a hamburger place. So Angelica approached the passenger side window and asked for directions, and Sharma told the young woman that she did not know where it was located. At that point, Willie rushed over to the car with a sawed-off shotgun and pointed it at Sharma's face. He forced her to get out of the car and into the trunk of her own car. Now, Smith, he drives away, and he drives into a neighborhood called Huffman in the area. And it's never clear what he was planning at that point, but he returned back to that same ATM machine later and yelled at Sharma from outside the car to say the PIN number for her debit card. He then instructs his girlfriend, Angelica, to use the card and take out whatever's in the balance, which was at that time a total of $80. Now, what Smith didn't know, or it hadn't occurred to him, is that the ATM video captured video of him showing his face and that he was wearing a Los Angeles Raiders cap. Now, after that, with Sharma still in the trunk, Smith decides to go for a drive again with Angelica seated beside him in the passenger seat. And they locate Willie Smith's brother Lorenzo at a shopping center back in Huffman again. Now, Lorenzo gets in the car, and when he learns that there's a white woman locked in the trunk, he shouts taunts at her through the back seat, among other things, asking her if she wants to suck his penis. Willie Smith then drives the car into Zion Memorial Cemetery. Once they get there, Smith and Angelica and Lorenzo get out of the car, and he tells his brother and the girlfriend to step away from the car. He opens the trunk and holds a shotgun up at Sharma. She pleads for her life, and she tells Willie Smith that she won't tell police, but he shouts at her that she's a mother effing liar and shoots her in the head. Smith then closes the trunk. They all get back in the car, and he drives to another neighborhood called Roebuck with Sharma's dead body in the trunk. And he abandons the vehicle there. On the following day, he returns with a cousin, worried about authorities finding his fingerprints, and sets fire to the car with the help of his cousin. The following month, in November of that year, in 1991, in the city of Hoover in Alabama, a woman named LaTanya calls police and tells them that a man named Willie Smith, who's with another man named Michael Wilson, moved into her place, and that Michael Wilson told her that Willie was in hiding because he had killed a white woman in Trussville. After LaTanya notified Hoover Police Department, they then contacted Birmingham Police. LaTanya agreed to wear a wire to record audio and got Willie Smith talking about what he had done. Apparently, Willie Smith had no problem with bragging about it. It was later played for the jury in the courtroom, this recording. So during the playback of the recording, one of the things that he had described to LaTanya, and I quote, her eye, everything just hung out. Her whole eye was just fell out. Willie B. Smith III was later arrested, convicted, and sentenced to death. Angelica Willis accepted a plea deal from the prosecutor to testify against Smith, and she ended up with a 25-year sentence, which she has already completed. Now, what I don't have much information about is if Smith's brother Lorenzo was charged with anything, because he was present during the crime. Usually, in most states, that makes you an accomplice. I also was not able to find information in the case file, or even a name on the cousin that went with Willie Smith to help him set the car on fire in Roebuck. If you found this episode interesting and would like to see another profile on a condemned death row inmate soon scheduled for execution, go ahead and subscribe to be alerted when I put out a new video. This is Paco Rivera.